Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back into another edition of Keytime Sports. Please like, comment, share, subscribe to Keytime Sports right here on YouTube, Key City Sports on Instagram, and the KeyOnMillions.co. Here is my profile. Here is my media feed. Here is my merchandise. We just rolled out new merchandise earlier this week. And here is our new logo, part of our rebrand. So anytime you buy some clothing from the Key on Millions.co, you will get the new brand look. You will get it. So the topic at hand and what I want to talk about today is the Orlando Magic and Detroit Pistons. Now, the Detroit Pistons, they were able to live to fight for another game. And it took a lot. It took some defensive prowess from the Pistons last night. As you all can see, y'all see where Paolo Banchero was really pretty much the one-man show for the Magic. So you had Paolo Banchero, 45 points. Jamal Cain, 5 points. Wendell Carter, 9 points. Desmond Bain, 18. And Jalen Suggs, 10. They only had three guys to come off the bench last night. And all of them in total scored 22 points. And see, this is why I say when it comes to the Magic, it's just an up and down roller coaster, kind of like one of those roller coaster rides at Walt Disney World. It's just up and down for the Magic all season long, all season. Now with the Pistons, Cade Cunningham scored 45 in last night's game. Everybody else, Tobias Harris 23, Duncan Robinson 12, Jalen Duren 12. Azur Thompson, 6. And then 4 guys came off the bench. Isaiah Stewart, Javonte Green each scored 5 points. Caris LeVert scored 2 points. And Dennis Jenkins scored 6 points. Now, one thing, the Magic, they had a chance to close it out last night, but didn't. Have a chance to close it out tomorrow night. Let's see if they can close it out tomorrow night. Now, one thing about this series, this looked like that it was a mismatch on paper, and even after the Magic took a 3-1 lead, it looked like it was a mismatch on paper for the Pistons. But as of last night, the Magic, they made more threes than the Pistons and lost. One thing that hurt them was free throws. They were only 53% from the free throw line, 16 of 30. And Detroit Pistons, they were 28 of 35, 80%. Turnovers. Now, both of these teams had the same amount of turnovers. Not many fast break points, 19 to 14. And largest lead in this game was 17, and the Orlando Magic did not lead at no point in the game. Now, one thing I'm going to say, this might be a little rendition and a rewind of 2003. For a lot of people who may not know this, in the history of the NBA, no number 8 seed has lost a 3-1 lead to a top seeded team in NBA history until I'm going to give y'all a clip, a historical clip. Y'all probably saw it on my YouTube. Y'all probably saw it on my YouTube last night, but here's the historic clip. Now, this is what I'm talking about. History, it may repeat itself. So here it is. So, as you all can see, the Orlando Magic and Detroit Pistons have been in a situation like this before. And the way it's looking like the Pistons after last night, they got the momentum. They'll be playing tomorrow night. And I believe the Pistons can some way, somehow get a win on the Magic's home floor, come back home for a game 7. Now, this will be if the Pistons come back and win this series, it'll be the second time in NBA history, that a team that's an 8th seed has allowed the top seeded team to come back from a 3-1 deficit. That's why the reason is they put them. That's why I said one of the reasons what was so critical last night for the Magic is for them to put the Detroit Pistons to bed. Obviously, they weren't able to do that, and I just showed y'all some historical stats from the previous time that the Magic and the Pistons played each other. So, what I'm going to do is I'm going to show y'all a couple of clips from last night's game that was very critical. I'm going to just show y'all the last 4 minutes of the fourth quarter, because that's where it really got interesting at. So 6 minutes left in the fourth quarter. Pablo Banchero for 3 of his 45 there. Desmond Bane, 3 of his 18 there. And it's back down to 7. Now, 9-point lead for Detroit. Pablo Banchero, 3 of his 45 there. Back down to 6. Orlando, they wasn't going away. But Cade Cunningham came out with that shot, and that was pretty much, I would say right there, pretty much good night, Irene. Here's another shot and a block by Jalen Duren. He came in clutch with that block. Here's another shot, a 3 by Pablo Banchero. Got it back down to 3 with under a minute left. And Cade Cunningham, he put the finishing touches on the game. And that was pretty much good night, Irene. And Game 6 is tomorrow night at 7 p.m. in Detroit. The next game I am going to cover is the Toronto Raptors and the Cleveland Cavaliers. Now, the Raptors, they had a chance at winning this game. They had to lead multiple times in this game down the stretch. But there's nothing that is going to come of this when the Raptors, they are not going to win any games when you have Brandon Ingram just scoring 1 point. You have R.J. Barrett, Scotty Barnes, Jacob Pelote, and Jacoby Walter all scoring at least 14 or more points, but you have one of your top dogs in Brandon Ingram not scoring in double figures. Now, for the Raptors, when it comes to their bench production, Sandro Mascilevi, 10 points. Jamison Battle, 7 points. Colin Murray-Boyles, 8 points. A.J. Lawson, 0 points. And Jamal Sheed, 18 points. And once we get to the Cleveland Cavaliers, Donovan Mitchell, as far as efficiency-wise, he could have did better. He had 19. James Harden, he was 7 of 13. He was better. And one thing I can say is for Cleveland, if they don't get to the Eastern Conference Finals, somebody on that coaching staff is gonna go. Somebody. Because I see the Cavaliers, they are in the same boat as the New York Knicks. You've had a good coaching staff for the last 3 to 4 years. And you've changed head coaches in that time. But it seems like you're still having the same results. So Is it not on the head coach? It can't be on the head coach. That's why I say sometimes when someone gets let go in a coaching staff, sometimes it's one of the assistant coaches or one of the schematic coaches that comes up with the scheme for the game. So the Cavaliers, they were able to win Game 5 last night. Let's see if they can close out the series in Toronto. That is going to be tough for the Cavaliers because throughout the season and throughout this series, they haven't been able to win in Toronto at all. And as you all can see, when it comes to the team statistics last night, advantage Cavaliers in almost every statistical category, even now points in the paint, they were deadlocked at 48. But every other statistical category, it is the Cavaliers. Free throws, 21 of 28. And for the Raptors, free throws, 17 of 25, 68%. For now, when it comes, I'm gonna give you all the current playoff bracket. Now, the series between the Pistons and Magic, the Raptors, and the Cavaliers. Also, Knicks, Hawks, Celtics, 76ers, all of them are at a 3-2 at 3-2. All of them. And when it comes to the Western Conference, Lakers, Rockets 3-2, Denver, Minnesota 3-2. Every playoff series right now is at 3-2. And you know what I think? I think that for the playoffs, they are more interesting. And when you have series deficits and series leads like this, only one thing it tells you. It tells only one thing that it tells me, and it tells every other person that views the NBA playoffs, that watches the NBA playoffs, that most of these teams, they were just waiting for the playoffs to get here. They were. That's why I say when it comes to the NBA regular season, 82 games, a lot of times, a lot of players throughout the regular season, hey, we want to talk about effort, but hey, look, 82 games, I'm not trying to exert all my energy for the regular season when I know I got the playoffs coming. So, all in all, the Cavaliers, the Cavaliers are in the driver's seat. They have a chance to close out the Raptors. Close out the Raptors as soon as possible if you are a Cavaliers fan. That's what you want to do. Close it out. And I want to get to the final few minutes of this game because the Cavaliers, they pretty much bounced back from what they did in Game 4 and pretty much giving up that lead. But last night, they didn't surrender their lead. They added on to it. They were up by 11 with under 4 minutes left. And pretty much the Raptors, they couldn't do anything and they would go on to win. Now, the Raptors, they pretty much made a game of it here at the end, but it was pretty much, the game was firmly in hand for the Cavaliers. And that's where you see the 125-120 score. Game 6, is tomorrow night at 7:30 on Amazon Prime Video. And the next game that I am going to cover is the Houston Rockets and the Los Angeles Lakers. One thing I can say about this game is that the Lakers' three-point shooting was bad. It was. When it comes to the Rockets, you see Jabari Smith, Tarion Eason, 18 points. Alfred Sengun, 14 points. Amin Thompson, 15 points. Reed Shepherd, 12 points. And you see, when it comes to the bench production, Dorian Finney-Smith had 6 points, Aaron Holiday had 5 points. Josh Okogie had 7 points. And ladies and gentlemen, Kevin Durant will not be playing in Game 6. So the Houston Rockets still don't have Kevin Durant I believe for the rest of the series. They won't have Kevin Durant. But now we get to what the Lakers can do. The Lakers, LeBron James, 25 points. You had Rui Hachimura, 12 points. DeAndre Ayton, 18 points. He's pretty much having a good game. The last 2 games, he's had good series. You had Marcus Smart, 11 points. Luke Kennard, 1 point. Bench production, Jake LaRivia, Jared Vanderbilt, each scored 2 points. Austin Reeves, 22 points on his time coming back. Now, 22 points is good, but his efficiency was bad. 4 of 16. And when you look at the Lakers, like I've been saying it throughout the regular season and throughout the playoffs, it's all about how can they defend. How can they defend? Because when you see the efficiency for this game, now largest lead was 11 for the Lakers, and this was at the midway point of the second quarter. And then all of a sudden, that 11-point lead dwindled down to about 5 or 6 for the for the Lakers. And then it seemed like all of a sudden the Lakers could never get the momentum back in their favor. So as we all say, give y'all some history. The Lakers, they were leading this series 3-0. No team has ever came back in NBA history from a 3-0 deficit. Now, it looks like the Houston Rockets, more than likely, they are going to force a Game 7. Now, there have been 5 teams in NBA history that have suffered from a 3-0 deficit, and 4 of those teams in NBA history have been able to push the series to a Game 7. But no team has ever came back from a 3-0 deficit and won the series. So history is still on the Lakers' side. But Game 6, I know a lot of people right now, and I'm looking at all of the sports books on my other computer screen over here. And for Game 6 of the Rockets and Lakers series, everybody is putting their money on the Rockets, and for the Rockets, they are a 7.5 point favorite right now. 7.5 point favorite. So I think that point spread is going to dwindle. I believe it is going to dwindle. But as of right now, for the Lakers, they got to defend better. Turnovers, they still got to cut down on the turnovers. They had 15 last night, and in each game this series, they've had at least 15 turnovers in every game. Game 1, they had 24. Game 2, they had 21. Game 3, they had 19. Game 4, they had 24. So it's like the Lakers, if they can't protect the ball and not just preserve leads against a ball club like the Rockets, but extend those leads, because you just can't preserve leads against the Houston Rockets, because I'm going to say this, they have more players, they have younger players. This is the 3rd youngest team in the NBA. So an 11 or 15 point lead, they can wipe that out within 3 minutes. They can wipe it out within 3 minutes. So only thing I can say about the team that wins this series, they play OKC, and I don't think that they are going, whoever wins this series, I don't think they're going to be able to win a game against OKC. So whoever wins this series, whether it's Lakers or the Rockets, they getting swept the next round. So let's just go ahead and bring the brooms. I wish I had my broom with me right now. I would show it to y'all, but hey, I could show y'all in y'all go ahead and give me a broom emoji. Give me a broom emoji. Yeah, bring out the brooms. That's what we're gonna do. Bring out the brooms for the next series. I'm already predicting that it's gonna be a sweep when it comes to the Thunder playing against any team. But if the Thunder get to the Western Conference Finals and they play the Spurs, that has the opportunity to go to a game 7. But as of right now, we got to focus on the Rockets and Lakers to see who is going to play against the Thunder. But the Thunder, next series, it's already a foregone conclusion. And one last thing, last few minutes of the game last night for the Lakers, they had a chance to kind of cut into this lead. I mean, it was a 5-point deficit for them, and then all of a sudden they give up a layup, and now it's back up to 7. And here it is, under 2 minutes left, down by 5. All of a sudden, back up to 9. See, the Lakers, they were going uphill last night. It's like once they got on a run, it's like the Houston Rockets. They made one play here, one basket here, or one assist here, and it seemed like the momentum swing for the Lakers. It just seemed like the whole thing was shut with one shot. It's like the whole momentum, and they just shut the door on the Lakers. Now, with under 30 seconds left, seemed like they still had a chance, but like I said, bad defensive play from the Lakers and not making enough three-point shots. They were 7 of 27 from the three-point line last night, and that's what mostly hurt the Lakers. So, Lakers, one thing I can say is, one thing that I can say for the Lakers, yeah, you had a good season, whether you win this series or not. It's going to take a Herculean effort for the Lakers and for the Rockets to win versus the Oklahoma City Thunder. From what I'm hearing, Luka, he is it's a waiting game for Luka. He may come back and he may not come back. But it was good to see Austin Reeves out there last night. He had 22 points. He wasn't efficient enough, but it's good to see the Lakers getting one of their top 2 dogs back. So that's all I got to say for the Rockets, Lakers, Cavaliers, Raptors, and the Pistons, Magic. And with that, those are my reactions. Please like, comment, share, subscribe to Keytime Sports right here on YouTube, Key City Sports on Instagram, and the key on millions.co. Here is my merchandise. You can create you an account for millions.co, and you can go to my profile, which is the key, and you can go and buy my merchandise. See, this is what we've been working on. See, we got the green shirts when it comes to the keys on the road. When it comes to the emblem with this logo right here, you will be getting this on everything that we have created within the last 2 months. Now, we did have a previous logo, but that logo wasn't really eye-popping, wasn't really eye-catching. But this logo right here is eye-catching. So you can go to millions.co, and you can look up my profile, which is the key, and you can get you some merchandise with the key. And remember, everybody, one last thing, the key is always on time.